In the year 1900, there were only 4,192 automobiles in the United States. The preferred modes of travel were horse and buggy, train and boat. But by 1985, that measly 4,000 cars had jumped to 109 million. In one lifetime, this technological innovation changed the face of the world. In a similar fashion, during our lifetimes, the microprocessor ushered in a new era, the era of ultra-thin laptops, satellite GPS, smartphones, VR gaming, and self-driving cars. These new technologies, and countless more, have made our lives more convenient than they've ever been. Yet, this new tech is not without its detractors. The older generations say something like this: kids these days, they've got it way too easy. Help me log into my Netflix. And you kids always have your faces in your phones. This attitude has been summed up as technology bad. But there is a reason why parents and grandparents look at the modern world with all of its conveniences and long for what they would say were the good old days. Which raises a question. Why do former generations view technological innovations that contribute to the well-being of humankind with contempt and suspicion?
Why do you think old people hate technology?
Probably because they didn't grow up in a time where it was like this advanced, so like they're probably not used to it.
Because they're old?
People don't like change. We as a human race struggle to accept change.
It's something new that they're not used to as much, and so they kind of have to learn to adapt to it.
Our current generation has a tendency to dismiss the technological frustrations of those from a former generation. We tend to think that we're the smartest generation simply because we can remember all of our passwords. But when we stop and think about it, we know that's not true. How many times have you had to consult the internet to learn how to tie a tie or change your oil or help you write that paper? People who lived before us did a lot of amazing things. They beat the Nazis, made it to the moon, cured polio and smallpox. So let's do something radical. Let's not dismiss our parents and grandparents as old-fashioned relics, but let's take a moment to look at our technological world through their critical eyes. And before you go all, okay, boomer on us, hear us out. On average, you're spending anywhere between 4 and 5 hours a day on your phone. That adds up to 76 days a year. You know that empty feeling you get after scrolling for hours on Instagram or TikTok? The strange combination of exhaustion and restlessness? Do you really think we have the best take on today's tech? We're the first generation growing up with these kinds of technologies, and it's our responsibility to learn how to use them well. With depression and anxiety on the rise, due in large part to the tech we use every day, ignoring this will only ensure a rough road ahead for you. You ready to figure out how to best navigate our tech-driven world? Let's go.
So do you think humanity in general has a good relationship with technology?
Yes and no. I think technology has helped us so much in the field of medicine, in the field of science, in the field of news and information.
I think it just depends on the country, but I think our country is very like technologically advanced, so I feel like we have a good one.
Technology is really useful and has been very, very helpful. But then I've experienced some of the more negative effects of it.
To help us navigate the topic of technology, we sought out Allen Parr. Allen is a pastor and host of the popular YouTube channel, The Beat. His show focuses on tackling tough topics in the modern age. With this expertise, Allen's just the guy for us to talk tech.
From your perspective, do you think humanity has a good or a bad relationship with technology?
I'd probably say that we have somewhat of an unhealthy relationship with technology because we depend on it for so many things, and there's so many different things that we probably should be trying to do on our own that we rely on technology, and in some ways it can actually make us lazy and also have a negative effect on our lives.
Modern technology like computers, smartphones, video games, and social media are bad in and of themselves.
I would disagree.
Why?
Because I think they're immoral. I don't think that it's how you use them, essentially, that determines their morality.
I think that any medium that we can use as humanity to communicate is something good.
Disagree. I feel like social media is a good platform to have, and it gets people's voices out.
Is modern technology good or bad in and of itself?
I'd really say that it's neutral, but I think the biggest thing that we need to remember is that technology is something that we need to have mastery over. That we don't need to let technology control us or dominate us or master us. We need to make sure that we are mastering it and we're using it for the right intent.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, how addicted are you to your phone or your tablet or computer?
I'm probably a 7. I'm always usually on it. Like right before you came up to me, I was on my phone because I didn't have anyone to talk to.
Absolutely 10, simply because of the profession that I'm going into and being a college student in this current day and age.
8.
8, all right. That's a lot.
I can't get anywhere without GPS.
Okay, all right. What do you think?
Probably 9. I use it every day.
A lot of people might hear what you just said and think, well, isn't technology awesome? I mean, I'm watching this right now on a piece of technology. How could this possibly be a dangerous medium?
There are so many young adults who end up experiencing depression or anxiety and sadly, oftentimes suicidal thoughts because of their interaction with other people that they see on social media or cyberbullying. We have a lot of that going on nowadays.
So do you think that people get depressed from spending too much time on their phones?
I think the way Instagram and social media has become, people try to compare themselves all the time, so I feel like it could put you in a depressive mood.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've had to take breaks off of social media because of the pressure.
Most definitely. I think, especially in the realm of social media, this is a secondary form of communication. In order to be healthy, this should be primary in our lives, human interaction on a day-to-day basis.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for people between 10 years old and 24 years old. So it's a huge cause of death. Do you think technology helps this or hurts this?
I feel like it helps, but it also hurts. It just really just depends on the person.
Definitely, I would say harms.
Okay, well, other than suicide, what are some other effects that our culture feels because of its love affair with technology?
Well, I think the biggest one is pornography. Whenever I was coming up, it wasn't accessible. It wasn't something that you were able to easily get your hands on. So when you think about the fact that an 8-year-old or a 9 or 10-year-old can see something and that can be imprinted in their minds and the enemy can have a stronghold in their life starting at the age of 8, pornography can be very dangerous now because of what I call the 3 A's. It's accessible, it's anonymous, and it's affordable.
You've painted a pretty bleak picture of technology in our world today, and that makes sense. But are there any positive effects that technology can have on our world?
I mean, looking at connecting with loved ones, people that you haven't seen in a while, whether that may be through Zoom or FaceTime, is a major way for us to keep in touch with people that we may not have seen in a while. Remote learning, right? The ability to be able to go to school and to be able to get an education or just simply buying things online through e-commerce and things like that. So there's so many different upsides. I just think we need to be careful as a society that we don't depend on it and that we don't overuse it so that something that could potentially be used for good actually ends up leading to our downfall.
Although it's helpful in many regards, humanity has some real problems with the technology at its disposal. The biggest culprit is attached to us at the hip. These things. We look at the impact of smartphones next.